So there's 3 cards we are doing. You will get everything required to make them, not the stamped images. So you will need your stamp set. So your cards will come like that with your any die cut pieces required. However, any stamped images that require die cutting, you will need to do that yourself. But basically, I provide you with the cut DSP, cut cardstock, and reliefs, etc. you need for that. So if you bump, just bear with me, if you bump your order up to $150, you will also receive this beautiful DSP, which we are using on our projects today. You'll get 12 sheets of the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. It is a specialty paper, and there's some nice designs there. They're all pretty. It's a Christmas themed kind of paper, but I'm not making any Christmas cards with them today. So I want to show you the versatility of this paper, and that's the other side of it. So you're going to get 12 sheets of that. You bump your order up to 150. Then at that point, if your order increases up to 200, you will also get a pack of iridescent rhinestones. So when you get the designer series paper, the pack of the 12 sheets, I won't be cutting that for you, but you will still get the card kit and everything like that. So enjoy the sale today. Thank you to those who have placed orders. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, but I appreciate the orders. I have been adding to my order as well as I've gone along. I'm going, oh, I need that and I like that. So I hope you enjoy it. The sale, it's on till 11:59 p.m. So you've still got a few hours to go. And if I can help you, just contact me. So remember, World Card Making Day is on the 1st. So if there are stamp sets you want from that for that event, which Stampin' Up are hosting, but I've also got an event on in conjunction with that. Make sure you take advantage of that, and you orders over 50 also get an entry into my birthday draw. So let's get on with crafting, because that's what we're here for. And the first card I've got gonna craft with is the Cottage Rose stamp set and the bundle, which you may have, you may not have. I actually have just got this set, and I got this specifically in time for World Card Making Day, so I didn't have it earlier, and I'm going to do it in a different colorway to what we've probably seen a lot in those the petrol pink colors. I'm just gonna go different today. So I've got the dies. We'll need the dies. If you are purchasing bundles, make sure you check the pricing, because the bundles sometimes normally will work out cheaper than individual purchase anyway. So for this stamp set, for this card, I have got a soft succulent card base, and we are going to use some designer series paper, some of this Lights Aglow paper, and I've got a piece of that, and this is the one. It's got you can cut that out with probably the dies that come, that it can, this side is more got that bouquet look on it, which is nice. I hope you can see that as I'm crafting. That'll go. Let me get that up. All right, so I have already embossed with the Tree Rings embossing folder a piece of cardstock. So in your kit, yours will be embossed for you, so you don't have to worry about that. That will come already done. So I'm just getting some scrap paper as well. So I'm going to do some stamping this. We'll use this image. If you're watching the replay as well, please say hi. Please share this. I appreciate you sharing it. It helps me with my crafting and sharing my business with others, and just getting the word out for me as well. A referral is always helpful. So just getting some scrap. Right, so we have got this stamp set. I'm going to stamp in Tuxedo Black. I got the case with the lid came off. Okay, so bit of a larger stamp. So see, I've got ink on that. I'll clean that off. So that's going to go everywhere, isn't it? I'll be posting some of my favorite stamps on my Facebook page if you have checked it out. Still got a few more, but there's lots and lots and lots. Goodness, it is never ending. So it's good we have these sales. You can even buy some Christmas presents, and it's on Christmas only 3 months away, which is scary, but you can get some stamps for that, for someone who's a bit crafty, wants to get into crafting. So you get a pretty image there. We're going to color that in with Sweet Sorbet, and I am using some Petal Pink. I'm also using mint macaron. Now, I know color scheme, the card base is soft succulent, but I will be switching it out with mint macaron. I'm getting my words all confused. All right, so I'm using the light Sweet Sorbet and just giving it a fairly quick coloring. Doesn't have to be too precise because you have got all the definition in the stamp. Just use a light touch when you are coloring. Don't go heavy. The others, you could damage your brushes. So, just a regular grasp, I guess, of the color. I've gone outside the line there a bit, which probably will get covered up, but I'm looking for my color lifter, but it's not here. Oh, here it is. I've already taken it out. And I think I wanted to highlight anyway. I said in anticipation of a mistake. That'll just lift that color off a bit, and I'll just leave that to dry, and we'll get on with our coloring. And I'll use my bullet tip maybe for just going around. Fairly quick coloring here. Hope you've had a good day. I have just been pretty chill, relaxing. All my newsletter subscribers are going to receive the tutorials for the 3 cards. So if you aren't subscribed to my newsletter, please subscribe. When I have each week, I share a free tutorial, but there are occasions you will get bonus like this, which is pretty handy. So you can print out, you'll get all the product list, measurements in imperial and metric. You'll get photos, so it'll all help you. If you want to refer, you can create a folder on your computer to help and file it accordingly. Make it easy for you to grab when you need. I'm just adding some highlights with the dark sweet sorbet. I'm just going back in on those back petals because they would be a little bit darker where the shadow is hitting. Stamping blends are easy medium to work with. They're not difficult at all. And what I'll do is I didn't want too much of a change in the colors I'm going to bring in and blend in upwards from that color, some petal pink, dark petal pink, and then I'll bring in some light. And just by dragging that sweet sorbet, it won't create that stuck line. I've got my color lifter. There's a couple of purposes for this, few purposes for this color lifter. Like I was using it before just to get that color off there, and it will lift. Just give it a bit of a minute or two because the alcohol markers just take a little bit extra time. Now it can add your light here where you want, so it lifts that color. If you want to grab a shading, just leave it to the color lifter to work, and then you can go back and add more. I'm going to color in my leaves with the light pink macaron. This is a brand new set I got because my other one I had well and truly used it. It had finished. There was no ink left in one of the colors. I had to get a new set. So that's quite a quick job I've done. Just use the bullet tip and I'll go back in. And now I'll bring in my darker mint macaron and I'll use that the brush tip, and I'm just dragging that through, and we'll go back in with our light and blend that in. Let's go and just add a little bit of color here. Just a very rough color. So that's my image done, and we will die cut that. And I'm just making sure I can add, you don't need to do too much of this, but I'm just adding a little bit more lifting of color there. And if by accident you lift too much color, that's okay. You can go back and add color. So we'll die cut that in a sec. I'm going to add this piece. Now I have cut it at a certain length. When you get it, because it was the same length, you will get it as the same length as the cardstock. Just stick it down and then trim any excess, because when I emboss this, it gets a bit smaller. The width does get a bit smaller. So Mine is a bit extra long, but so let's flick this around. And yours is not going to be so much, but it might be a little bit. It was on my sample card, and I didn't cut it. I realized too late, and it didn't even, I didn't even notice it. So you might not even worry about it. Now you're going to put some ribbon. You're going to get some of this in your kit to finish off your card. Some tearing tape. And then we'll add our ribbon around. So when you get a ribbon, you will get enough to tie a bow and to put around like in this fashion. So you won't have enough to go right around your card. And this is how I do my ribbon, and it saves a little bit of product. Just glue that on. Okay, now we can die cut our image. And I've also pre-cut something for our sentiment. This is from the Scallop Contours dies. I've got my mini, and I kind of didn't plan to die cut because I thought I had die cut everything. And did I remember to bring everything? See me jumping around. Okay. Righty. Okay. I have my mini on my desk. I just moved it because it's easier. Much, much easier. You'll get the cardstock to stamp on. So you just have to, and you can substitute if you don't want to use this stamp. You can substitute what you have. You may have another floral image you can use. If you don't want to buy this stamp set, you can get another product. You don't have to buy stamp sets. If any orders of $90 will get you a kit. Let's put that back. And we'll stamp our sentiment. It's got some different, like bolder sentiments, mixed fonts, I should say, with the sentiments. So it's got best wishes. It's going to be fab. A nice slim happy birthday. That's a good little one where you can fit in different smaller spaces. Friends forever, feel better real soon, and you are positively the greatest. I'm using the best wishes today. Depends what you like to use. I would probably, for me personally, I would use the best wishes, happy birthday, and feel better real soon. They would be probably my most used greetings in that set. Not how you go to certain ones all the time. That'll be me. So I'm just using Tuxedo Black. And like I said, this is the Scalloped Contours dies. You will get this die cut in your pack, so you can stamp your greeting. That's a bit wonky, but we can make it unwonky by putting it a bit angled. Maybe I can redo it, but I'll just go with it for now. Show you my trick for making it look not so wonky. So in this case, I will put it on an angle, and I'll show you my original card. I'm changing it around because my sentiment is a bit crooked. And I will do that. And I'll tie. Oh boy, this is Evening Evergreen ribbon. I didn't say that before. That's Evening Evergreen. I'm mixing the greens a bit, but they all work together. I think that if you have trouble tying a bow, I think the best advice I can give yourself enough ribbon. Don't try to tie it with a teeny weeny bit of ribbon. Once you get better at it, you can try to fiddle, but give yourself, I would say, 35 centimeters or 30 centimeters at least to tie a bow this size. It helps, and then you can make it smaller, but you're not so restricted then, because then it's stressful trying to tie it with a tiny bit. Some dimensionals, and we'll do that. Now I'm going to stamp that image in black on the inside. Give it a good press because it's a larger image. So it's just a little bit fainter, but it fills that gap. And you can do the same on the envelope. I wouldn't bother coloring it, but you can if you want. Oops. Here you go. So even in black, you can do a monochromatic, like just a black and white card with this stamp set. I think it just come out really nice. Because the image is nice and crisp. Trying to get it. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'll show you my original card in a sec. I'll put these away, otherwise I'll get into a real mess. I mean, I'll get into a real mess anyway, but messier than ever. Okay, so this was my first card. Okay, we have to put a little embellishment. We'll do that. But this was the original layout, but because my sentiment was crooked, I have changed it. Now, I don't know, with maybe my imagination, but you can't tell as much that it is crooked when you put the label on an angle. The tricksy. So these are iridescent rhinestone jewels. These are the ones you will get when your order reaches 200. You'll also, if you are purchasing any of the bundles for World Card Making Day, Stampin' Up will give one of these for you for free, but you need to add it to your order. Just remember to add it to your order. So if you're purchasing the Cottage Rose bundle or the Wreath bundle or the other one, I can't remember what the name was, you will get this, but you need to add it to your order. So let me know what you think. And it's just a pretty simple card, but I like this, and I like that paper. It's no Christmas look about it there. All right, so our next one, we're going with, we're using the Blessings of Home bundle. Now these two you can buy as a bundle, or if you just want to get the stamp set, you can use that as fuzzy cutting or however you like. Interesting story about this stamp set, because I do this thing of cutting stamps and things like that. So I cut my thank you. So don't do what I did. I cut my thank you, but I was cutting it from looking from the front. I didn't look at the back, which is how I should have done it, because I wasn't thinking. So then this is what happened. I cut the stamp, but then I go, I haven't tried it. Probably still stamp fine. But otherwise you can just put it together. But cut it when you're cutting a stamp, turn it this way, and then you can see where you're cutting. I did it this way. Top tip. Alrighty. Are you going to use this? And we're going to do some heat embossing. And let me get my die. Oh, and I need this sentiment. So we've got everything ready. So I'm using Cherry Cobbler. I haven't used that in a while for a card base much. Hey, thank you. I like the card. They're a bit nice to have some different color combos in it. And I'm using Very Vanilla. Now, personally, I don't use a lot of Very Vanilla, but I like it in small doses. And I'm mixing it with white here. So I have got one for the front, and you will get all this cut for you. So this is the designer series paper we're using, the same Lights Aglow, and that's the back of it. I mean, this could be a kid's, even a baby card. You could make that work with softer colors, and this is Christmassy, but I'm going to make, I guess, like a wedding or engagement or something like that. It says, what a beautiful day for love. You could anniversary, you could do, I think it's nice little card. I wasn't sure where I was headed when I was making this, but this is where it went. Sometimes I start with one element. I started with the element of the heat embossed flower, and then I went with it. Alright, so we've got Cherry Cobbler, and have yourself some wet wipes when you use red or Cherry Cobbler or anything like that, because it gets everywhere. That's why I've got my wet wipes handy. 100% it will get somewhere. Okay, so we're just going to create like a little border around this using this stamp set, this stamp image. So it's a bit how that wasn't how it was going to be, but that's okay. I can flip it if I want to, but I'm just going to cover it up. Just rotate your stamp. This is good with any floral image. You can do this. It's a great way to create borders. I'll do it a bit here. Okay. All right, so that's just created a bit of a border with the with that floral image. I'm gonna give that a clean because we're gonna heat emboss that same image. Using the same image as your focal point gives it continuity, and then sometimes you use different images, no doubt, but sometimes if you have like a very strong color, which I find like for me, it's my style of card making, like cherry cobbler is a darker color, and then you've got busy paper, it's got gold and it's got stripes and things like that. By using the same image, it's going to give you continuity. So you can make different patterns and things work. You've just got to use those elements to bring them together. Yeah. Just going to put some dimensionals there. And then I'll glue it on here. Knowing me, I keep losing stuff. I'll just glue it down, and then at least I've only got one thing to lose instead of 3 different things. Right, so and then we're drawing again that as the continuity with the base color matching with this and the ink, so it's not, so then the busyness of the DSP doesn't like glare in your face too much. Okay, now with our stamp, I'll just make sure that's clean. Okay. Bring in our Versamark. And I need my gold embossing powder. You're going to get a bit of a bigger piece than this of white because you will have embossing and you'll have to stamp your sentiment as well in your pack. Use your embossing buddy on this. And ink up our stamp. So I'm not giving you measurements. If you're a subscriber, you're going to get all the measurements and you'll get a full tutorial, all for 3 cards. I will send it out by the end of this weekend for you. So don't worry. That's going to cover. It's got that tinge. See how that cherry cobbler didn't stamp out, but when I put that Versamark, it's picked up that. So I think it should be fine. And those reds, I tell you. Where are my tweezers? Let's pull our gold. The gold will cover that up. Okay, so I just leave it for a sec. And then, now, can you see it's a bit, it's not meeting together like you can see. It's a bit disjointed, and I was a bit thinking it was my stamping. But if you ever wonder, just always check the stamp set, the cover. It'll show you what it's meant to look like, and it is that sort of a stamp anyway. So you're not gonna get a full image. Sometimes you think, oh, you'll try it 5 times and go, what is wrong with this thing? You just one hit over the top, just to be 100% sure. Just with the embossing powder, don't overheat. If it goes past that shiny stage and you remelt, then it loses the shine. That can happen too. Let's get rid of this gold. Just making sure I give this a clean, because next I'm going to be using white embossing powder. And I'll run it through the tissue as well. Now we'll do some die cutting. So this, I'm not coloring this image or anything, I'm just leaving it as is, because we've got a lot going on with the paper and everything. And sometimes simple is good. We'll have that like that. This way. Then we'll get back our cherry cobbler ink pad and stamp the sentiment on the piece of cardstock. So again, I'm using white. It does contrast with the very vanilla, but you can see, if you look closer at this paper, it's got a bit of white through it as well, so it's got a bit of a mix. So we'll say, what a beautiful day for love. And that's why I thought it worked for a wedding. So if you want a bigger card, just make it, you can make it larger or do a restamp it. Make a larger card or a fun fold or something if you prefer to give a larger card for a wedding. Now I'm going to fussy cut this. I'm just going straight cuts, right? But it didn't quite fit how I wanted it to on the card, so I took it apart, the sentiment. I pulled the 3 lines separately. And then I split this as well. So you can do this with any stamp set where you want to mix words and mix sentiments, just change it up a bit. And I just felt it needed that. Maybe I'll cut that. Alright, so let's do this, cut our little corners. I'm going right to the corner there. Keeping the sentiments straight. Again, drawing the eye to it. And then we'll put our flowers. Might put another little bit here. Okay, we're just going to stick that there. So then you can see the contrast there. This one's crooked. And now to find my bits and pieces. I can go. And I'm just putting glue on this because and so I'm having that flat just against the surface instead of raised up. So then that's not the focus, your beautiful day. And then we will have for love. I'm going to put some dimensionals on that. And another little bit, just I wanted to make sure it's stuck on. And we're going to put that across the flower. I've got some of this ribbon. It is gold. Well, that's not what it's called. It's man, it's gold something edged ribbon or something. It's called. It's in that Lights Aglow suite. I think the packaging it's right. It said gold or gold. No, something else. It's got, and you'll get some of this ribbon in your kit too. It's a nice Christmassy ribbon, but particularly George. I'll just stick that down there if it wants to stick. Sometimes heat embossing a little bit tricky. Now we'll add some of our little iridescent dots. You can color these too, so if you wanted to, they'll still be with your stamping blends. You can do that. And I'll put a larger one in the middle of that one. Normally I'd say put 3, but there were 2 flowers, so that's why I've stuck with that. And for the inside of our card, we'll just stamp that image again. I didn't clean it after the Versamark. It's fine. And we'll just go in with our cherry cobbler. We'll probably stamp off first. So it's not so strong. And we'll do that on the, I've got a very vanilla envelope. So I'll give you all this, the inside and everything, so you can stamp it. If you have any questions, please ask me. If I think something's clear as mud, yeah. There you go. That's you can see that's a little bit crooked, but off. If ever it's hard to get off, use the heat gun on setting 1, and it comes off, no problem. There you go. That's the second card done. Let me know what you think. It's a little bit probably different for me, I would say, but a more celebratory kind of card. You could use that same layout and put a Christmas tree there and get a Christmas card. Sometimes you try to come up with new ideas, and it's easier to just you can use the same thing, just change the paper, change the stamp set, and it looks completely different. With your cherry cobbler or reds or anything like that, use this, but use the chamois. But I would give it a final clean with the stamping scrub, because it really gets into those nooks and crannies of the stamp. Now, third card. these are more back to softer colors. Get this out of the way. We've got a soft succulent card base. And I am going to be using the Speedy Recovery stamp set. Now you would have seen me make a few cards with this. I really like the stamp set. I like that it's totally dedicated to get well and that sentiment. I think it's a much needed in our community to give people those good wishes and kindness. So it's a really good stamp set. And I like the images in that. It's got a cup of soup or maybe a cup of tea, more like a cup of soup. Tissue box, vase, some flowers, a spoonful of hearts. So I have got, this is a pre-embossed piece of, it's cardstock with the pretty flowers embossing folder. It's really nice. Has a lovely detail to it. I have a pre-die cut scallop contrast dies. This is the paper we'll be using. That's the other side. This would have worked. I just chose this, but this is soft succulent. Pre-die cut a circle from the Stitch Shapes. Oh, sorry, no, Stylish Shapes. And the same from the Stylish Shapes. So we've got a few things I have pre-done. We're going to be using the flowers. And some Tuxedo Black ink to stamp our to stamp our image. And the card base is soft succulent. So that grayed out area stamps out in that sort of shaded look. And when I first got it, I didn't click. That's what it did. So, like for the tissue box, you might want to go in a color. Or if you stamp in black, you're going to get a black tissue box. So just be wary of that. All right, let's do some coloring. I will bring back those colors I used before. So if you wanted to get them, you don't have to get too many. You're still sticking with the same color scheme, and I'm adding a yellow for those flower centers. So we'll go in with the petal pink. It's a sweet little image. I've just colored those in the petal pink. I might just add a little bit of shading at the bottom. Not necessary. I don't think it's overly necessary, but on the larger ones, I just did that. Now I'll go in with Sweet Sorbet. This is one of the new in colors. Well, not so new now, but they came in this year. So this stamp set does not have dies with it, so it is on sale. So I would recommend, like, if you're getting stamp sets that have dies, get the bundle. When I've calculated, it works out cheaper to get the bundle. But get what works for you. Okay, and then I'll do the heart as well. And then we will do, just thought I'll color this a little bit. And mint macaron. Just to give it a little bit of coloring, and then I'll go in with those leaves. I'm just doing one stroke just to get the color in. There's hardly a space to color them in. So very quick coloring. So just on those larger leaves, I'll just add a little bit of shading. And just, there's a little boy there. I will go with, this is soy saffron. Sorry, I don't think I told you. Soy saffron. Okay, that's the coloring done. We'll glue that onto that. And then we'll stick that down. And I'll just add dimensionals here. And I'm going to stick this on an angle. And okay, glue that on. This is a very simple card, and it's a good one to do multiples of because the coloring didn't take long. Normally I'd say coloring takes long, but that was very quick. Now we'll put our, let me get some dimensionals and just add some onto our circle. I'm just adding that above there. Now I've got this. And let's see, we'll add our sentiment. I'm going to heat emboss that. You've got some. Now, this says I'm here for you, sending well wishes and your way and wishing you a speedy recovery. The sentiment that I'm here for you could work for a sympathy card. Sending well wishes your way, that could be just even a thinking of you kind of card. So in that sense, the sentiments do work with other occasions and not just get well. So it's you could make more use of this stamp set in that way. So I'm using sending well wishes your way now, which is that. And we'll heat emboss in white on soft succulent cardstock. Bring in our Versamark. That's the red. Doesn't affect the ink pad at all. It's still ink. It'll still stamp fine. Sorry, I'm just getting my head over if it's in your way, just to make sure I'm trying to get it straight, unlike I did last time. Get that in, and then we'll put the white embossing powder. Bringing that heat down and heat set that. That was a bit quicker. Now we'll put this on that. And that just disappeared on me. Here we are. All right. Just, I'm going in the line of my, the base there. I've got, and I'm adding my dimensionals to the left of this piece so it's not hanging over. And we'll go like that. For our it's a quick card to make. You can do it in no time, but it's sweet. So you want the cuteness without too much trouble. Let's see what we'll do on the inside. I might just, if you have soft succulent or any green on you, stamp it in that green. I did have soft succulent. I don't know why I pulled it out. Maybe I was going to use it on something, but I didn't. So we'll just stamp it in soft succulent. Let me have a look with it. Yeah, that'll be nice. And sometimes I do this and I stamp it like a bit of a watermark right in the center, and that's quite cute. This could be like if you could, when you do this, you can write a little, or if you have different people, say in a small office or something, if you wanted different people to write around it, or a team to write around it, you can add another piece of cardstock there and you can all sign in it. That's our last card done. Let's recap our 3 cards. This is the second one. Let me know which one you liked the most. And that's number 2. This is the first one. What was your favorite? Trying to get it all there on screen. Perhaps it was a color that stood out for you. So you will get this kit if you place an order of $90 or more. You're gonna get this kit to make the cards. If you're over 150, you're gonna get the 12 sheets of DSP. I won't cut the DSP in that case. You will get the 12 sheets, and you can cut it accordingly, or you can choose whatever you want to go in there, so that it gives you a bit more flexibility. And then orders over 200, you're going to get the complete pack of the iridescent rhinestones as well. So your kit will include all the cardstock, the envelopes, the insides for your cards. I will pre-die cut everything, pre-emboss everything for you. It'll come like this, ready for you to stamp. You just need to sub your stamps in, do your stamped images, and I just can't do the die cutting of that obviously because you just need the stamps, but everything else will be included for you, your embellishments and your ribbon. So if I can help you, please text me or message me. Don't miss out on those stamp sets that you may like to get at a discount. I realize there's a lot going on, so pick what works for you. The weekly deals, if that's what's interesting you, get them. There's the Perfect Partners promotion, which ends on the 30th with the dies that are there just for a limited time. If that's what interests you, get them. Just pick what works for you. And if I can be of assistance, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I was going to say tonight. It's not quite tonight. This afternoon. I appreciate your time and appreciate your custom. And have a great rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.